Welcome everybody to another episode where we take a deeper look at the real estate behind the headlines. Today I'm joined by Ron.Ireland with Supreme Lending. Ron has been in the mortgage industry for nearly 30 years. And what I like most about Ron is he really strives to bring value to each and every one of his relationships. If you'd like to connect with Ron, if you'd like more information about what he does and what he's all about, I'll include the link to get a hold of Ron in the video below. But today's topic is really all about how to sell now and buy later. It's obvious the real estate market is good. You can sell your home and make a fortune. That's not really the issue. The home's going to sell. It's about the transition. It's about what to do next. And Ron, I don't know about you, but I have several clients of mine who are telling me every day, you know, Eric, I'd love to sell my home. I know I need to sell my home, but I'm on the fence because I could sell now, but I don't know what to do next. And so, Ron, you've been really good about coming up with value today, and you've created 5 easy, simple solutions to be able to help give the home seller that confidence to make that move. So I'm just curious, what originally sparked that idea? What inspired you to come up with these solutions?
Well, the great part is I'm a boomer myself, right? And so I'm in that position that, millions of boomers are out there. They have this home that they don't need anymore. The additional maintenance, the additional utilities, everything out there. I have a lot of children, so I needed the house at the time and it was great. But now they're all gone out, have their own homes, their own families. And so me and the wife are left here with this house. Now, luckily, I have a house that has the master on the first floor. So, or it really would be a problem out there. But I know a lot of boomers are out there with a 2-story, and that master on the second, they're having to go up and down those stairs every day. So, that helped me out a little bit. But still, I don't need this house. I don't anymore. And so being in real estate, I was able to really reach out and figure out, what are all my options out there that I need to take advantage of?
Yeah, well, I don't know about you, but we're on the front lines here, so we hear it every day. And I have had several clients for probably the last 6 months who recognize what's going on with home prices. And everybody knows they're looking around their neighborhood. They see a neighbor's house go on the market and it's gone. And they're not taking weeks or days. I mean, sometimes hours. Sometimes houses are selling before they even go on the market. So there is a real feeding frenzy. And everybody's looking at their Zestimate and their tax value, and it's just going up and up and up and up and up. And a lot of people are wondering, hey, you know what? Where's the peak? Is this bubble gonna burst? And those are really, really good questions. And one of the common questions that I'm, of course, hearing is that, all right, I can sell my home in a heartbeat. I know that, but I'm looking around, and in order for me to go out and get a house I really, really want to buy, I'm going to have to deal with the hassle of multiple offers. I'm going to be dealing with, having to pay a premium price when I go to buy. And is it really worth it? Or, maybe baby boomers are sitting here saying, you know what, I've got this big house. It was great for a while, but now my lifestyle is different. I'm heating and cooling rooms I don't use. I'm having to maintain this big house, and, my disposable income every month is like having to go toward just keeping the home, at a selling standard. Or maybe some people are like, hey, you know what? I have really enjoyed being a homeowner, but I'm done. I'm ready to just kind of rent, or I'm ready to simplify, right? The key word is simplify. So if you had a client who's broaching those types of questions, what would be your response? Let's just go ahead and jump into maybe the 5 things with number 1. What would you suggest to do first?
So, really the first thing you got to do is really get that home ready. And most of them keep their homes up, but there's things you're going to have to do to get that home ready for sale, and that's something I know you can help them with and really kind of show them, direct them, maybe they need to update that kitchen. They haven't done that for a while, maybe the bathroom or a few other things they can do to really get the home ready. So really are you ready to sell? And if not, let's get the home ready. But if you are, and a lot of them, like you say, are maintaining that house because they know they're going to sell. We've got a couple years. So listening to the Federal Reserve, right? Federal Reserve Chairman Powell really talks about in 23 will kind of peak. Now the prices are going to continue to go up, right? So, really by getting the house ready now, selling it next year would be optimal for that to take advantage of all that appreciation that we've seen. So once you do that, once you get the house all ready, what do we do, right? So really, I have had several boomers that I've talked to, right? And their thought was kind of like you said originally, let's go ahead and sell the house, right? And we're just going to move into an apartment, right? And kind of we'll take our time to find another house and that sort of thing. And you know what they've discovered? They discovered that they love apartment living.
Mm.
Okay. And so really it's an option that my wife loves, right? And so I'm getting my house ready for sale. And as I do, we're out looking at unbelievable apartments they have out there. These are called luxury apartments they have out there. And really it's like being on vacation all the time. She loves that, right? And so, that all sounds real good. So the ones that have gone out have decided they're just going to continue to rent. They take the money, invest it. And if you invest that money, I've already done the math, invest that money, you're going to spin off enough money from that to pay the rent every month. So, that money's going to continue. Yeah, money's going to continue to go in. So you don't have to worry about paying that rent. It gets paid every month from the money that you got from your apartment. Right. So
renting out a house, or I'm sorry, renting out an apartment or a house, I guess it could be both.
Sure, could be.
Going from home ownership to renting, and
Yeah.
like you said, really simplifying, spending time where it matters most, right?
Yes.
And almost being on like vacation every month. I mean, that sounds pretty nice. And being able to have that be a net zero,
right?
If you move your money, if you couch your money in the right areas,
right?
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so renting is one. What's the second option that you have?
Well, the second is to downsize, get a smaller home, right? Let's say maybe you want a 2-bedroom home. And so I took a look at that, right? What do I have? I mean, I'm the kind of guy I've been in real estate all my life, right? And so I kind of like that having that ownership, right? And a lot of people would do. That's the American dream, right? And so I said, well, okay, if I downsize, what's that going to look like? And here's what I found, right? There are a ton of 2-bedroom homes. You're going to really dramatically, we're talking about something 900, 1,000, 1,100 square feet, nice little 2-bedroom home. There are a ton around downtown Overland Park. There's a ton around downtown Shawnee. There's a ton around the plaza. So if you like hanging out at the plaza, you can have a 2-bedroom home down there, for a lot less money. Or downtown Overland Park. Downtown Overland Park is expanding, it's growing, right? And a lot of people would like to have walking access to that or biking access, whatever it is. And you can get a good buy on a little house, 2-bedroom house, and there's ones that are renovated, or if you want to find it and then renovate it yourself,
Right.
Downtown Lee Summit is unbelievable. If everybody hasn't been to downtown Lee Summit, it's just like, they tell me it's the number 2 place in the city to go behind Power and Light. Right. And so there are a ton of little 2-bedroom houses down there. That's kind of the option I'm thinking about, still maintaining that ownership. Right. But yet downsizing, into a new home.
Yeah. Let me just jump in and kind of tell you what my thoughts are on that.
Right.
So for me, I really feel like that those smaller homes with a smaller footprint, those are usually going to be kind of closer to the median size and median value within the market, maybe even slightly under the median.
Yes, they are right now.
Yeah, the median value in Kansas City right now is well over 3. So if you can get something in like the 2s, mid 2s or something like that, then what's really nice about that in terms of like protection of your equity, I think that those types of houses are going to see some of the biggest equity.
They will.
Because you're going to have a better chance of deleveraging from that house when you're eventually ready, because you're going to be able to appeal to more of the market.
Exactly. And the same as the apartment, let's say you spend 200 and there are tons of really nice homes around downtown Overland Park and the plaza. You can pick up for around 200, little 2 bedrooms, 150, around Lee Summit, right? But you're going to take that, let's say you sell your house for 500,000, right? So you're going to be able to take that additional money again, invest it, right? And have that additional income available to you all the time.
Wow. That sounds like it's number one and number two are sounding really good. Too bad you can't
Right.
take and eat it too, unless we
Right.
can figure out a way to have both. But these two options have been great. How about number three? What do you got for me on number
Okay,
three?
so number three is, they're not building as many as I would like to see out there. That's that maintenance provided area, right? And so maybe you're selling a house for 500,000 and you're buying in a maintenance provided for maybe three. I've seen them up to 400, but still less. You still have a smaller footprint, right? But you don't have to worry about all the maintenance that you did before. Usually those come with, like, there's ones here in Lakewood, right? That you can go into. You have access to the lakes, the pools, all that sort of thing, and there's lots of areas like that too that are maintenance provided, that takes you out of the picture for all those things you have to worry about, but you still get that home ownership, and so you get the smaller footprint, less maintenance, less taxes, all those things than what you had looked for before.
Sounds good. So if your roof leaks, you make a call.
Yeah.
If you need your grass cut, you don't have to make a call. It's done.
No, you get
It's
done every
automatic.
week. Yeah.
It's automatic. And again, the key word is simplify. I mean, I'm in my
Right.
early 40s, but who wouldn't want to simplify? So
Oh yeah.
these options really aren't for people who are of certain age. These options really are for
Oh,
really anybody
anybody.
who again, wants to spend time where it matters most, because we can't get more time. And these are really good options for folks to consider.
Yeah, I mean, somebody even in there, maybe they're turning 50, but they know in the next couple of years the kids are going to be off to college, right? Then, hey, these are some great options for those people to start thinking about. Hey, I need to take advantage of what's selling now, and what can I do in the future with these?
Well, you make a great point. Before we pivot to number four, just want to say something on that. Is selling a house is not an event. It's not something you decide to do one day. It's a process.
It is.
There's many, 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 many variables to consider. And with that amount on the line, remember, this is, for a lot of people, this is the source of the largest net worth. This is the largest asset that they'll probably sell. So
Yes.
it's very important when you are dealing with a decision of that magnitude, when you're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars, that you don't cut corners, you do it the right way. And a lot of times for home sellers, the sweet spot is around 6 to 9 months when you're kind of thinking
Yes.
about doing this, to actively engage and have someone walk you through your options,
Yep.
right? And start kind of putting an orderly process to where you can minimize the stress, minimize the hassle, and really come out on the other side, making it
With the plan that you want, right?
okay. Number four, what do you got for me?
Number four is that independent living, right? So your John Knoxes, your tall grasses, and my mother is in one of these, right? But we put her in there knowing that she was going to be independent living. So, as you hit that 70 mark and you got to get out of that big house, maybe it'd be a good idea to go ahead and go into a John Knox. You still have that independent living and you still get to take care of advantage of everything that's in that facility, right, that they have to offer, right? And you already you get to know your neighbors, you get to know the people around you. So maybe one day they put you in assisted living, right? It's really not like moving. You're still in that same area, you're still around the same people, you're just given a lot more help than you do before. So a lot of people like that option. It's kind of, you know, easing into that nursing home, right? Rather than having to do that. And these places do that. You're actually, have a home that you maintain but get to take advantage of all those things that those independent living facilities have out there.
Okay. Sounds great. And last but not least, I'm sure you're saving the best for last, or maybe you're not. So hit
Well,
us with number 5.
so number 5 is to stay in place, right? And so a lot of people do that. So I have come up with options for them to stay in place. So one of those options is the reverse mortgage, right? So a lot of people really don't know. It has a bad, name that it's gotten in the past, but today this is an FHA product. So it's totally controlled by the government, right? And so you're able to stay in that house, right? And never have another mortgage payment the rest of your life. A lot of people don't understand how that works. In fact, I might be able to give you monies to live on, plus never having to worry about a mortgage payment the rest of your life, right? So this gives you the option to stay in your house, if you want to continue to maintain that big house. And some people don't want to let go of that house. I get that. And so this is a way for them to stay in place. Now, there's another way to use that reverse mortgage, right? And the other way is that we can actually sell your house, take part of their money, right? And buy that 2-bedroom that I'm talking about for 200, right? So you sell your home for $500,000, take 200 of that and buy that with a reverse mortgage. So you could live in a 2-bedroom home and never have to make another mortgage payment the rest of your life. So, this is a way that you can actually downsize your layout dramatically, so you can continue to have the lifestyle that you want with less income that you have as you retire. Now, the great part about all of these is there's combinations of all these, the one that I just talked about, to help you really get into a home, right? And really make that jump. This is what all the baby boomers, and I know a lot because they're all my friends, right? A lot of baby boomers out there that want to move, but they just don't see a plan. Nobody has provided them with a plan on how to do this.
Yeah, you make up a great point. Okay. I think there's 2 things here. Number one, all these ideas sound great. But I think if you're like most people, you're like, okay, I think it's a skeptic in us, right? Because they're like, well, if it was such a good option, maybe I'd already heard about it. But unless you're really attuned and plugged in and you do this for a living, and there's so much nuance here, right? And there is fine print. So that's why it's important to not just rush to a snap decision and just and say, you know what, that's not for me. So by getting with a person like you, or even me,
Yes.
be able to break through those what I call myth understandings, right? Yeah. And you'll be able to know the pros and the cons, because let's be honest, right?
There are cons to all of them.
There's good and not so good parts of any option that you select. What you have to do is you have to just say, all right, this is what I want to do. Here's the situation. What are my options? And weigh those pros and cons. And then get with someone who can also kind of answer those questions or think about the issues that you might not necessarily be thinking about, because I always have the saying, 2 heads or 3 heads are always better than 1. So if you surround yourself with more people who understand these complex issues, the better outcome that you're going to get. And why wouldn't you want to do that? Because you only got one shot, right? And we're dealing with a lot of money. Yes. And so I think you have brought a lot of really great information to the table. And, for all the viewers out there, if you've enjoyed this information, but if there is some aspect that you're not quite clear on, or maybe you're ready to take that step, or you're ready to at least start the Q&A process. I know Ron and myself, we would be happy to make ourselves available to you and provide you the resources, or point you
down and make a plan, right, for the future.
Yeah, and so we of course, we welcome the opportunity to connect. And of course, if you're viewing and you like this video and you felt like that this provided real value, go ahead and hit that subscribe button or that like button. And if you subscribe, then you'll be getting brand new content as we give it. So you'll be able to stay in the know, which I think is really important when we're dealing with a very, very fast evolving market, right? You want to stay on the tip of the spear, so to say. Well, Ron, do you have any final words for anybody who's listening?
Well, again, these are just examples of what we have. We can put together a plan for any homeowner now that's ready to at least look at that. What's that going to look like? And any variations of those, depending on where your children live. Do you want to buy a smaller home here and buy a second home in Florida? A lot of other things that people might want to. So this is something that we can help you make the plan. That we're in the market every day. We see what's going on, but we're experiencing these things ourselves.
Yeah, well said. Well, I think that's a great place to pause. Ron, thank you again for taking the time. And more than ever, thank you, the viewer who took the time to
Yes.
watch this video. And we look forward to connecting with you perhaps. And we hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again, Ron, and thanks again to everybody else out there.
Thank you.